Let's get Pioneer on them. Whatever that means.
John J. Bowman.
Yeah, leave the southern accent to me.
Pioneer spirit.
You sound like Jeff Foxworthy having a stroke.
Is that a problem, sir?
Yes.
Well, fuck you.
Understandable. So, it's 100 proof, single barrel. Buffalo Trace distillate. And
Yeah. This is the highest proof I think that they offer, aside from maybe some of their like specialty. What's the specialty line that they have, where it's like a different whiskey or different thing every single time they release it?
I actually don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, because they do one where it's like, you know, they did like a rum barrel aged bourbon. They did a.
Oh, I don't remember what it's called.
I know that they have like a specialty line, but as far as I know, this is the highest proof.
For sure.
Not including those, because I'm sure that there was a couple barrel proofs thrown in there.
Right.
But onto the nose.
Keeping in mind that the Bowman was a more peppery, not super sweet.
Yeah, it was really peppery.
This is not at all.
No, the nose is like a dark cherry, not very sweet.
Which the dark cherry, I mean, that tracks. Buffalo Trace
Yeah.
distillate.
Usually the cherry's a little bit brighter, but I'm sure that this is just because it's a single barrel offering. Dark fruit, like plums. I don't get a whole lot else. I get like dark fruit and dark fruit. No berries like you would get on Elijah Craig. This is like dark sweet fruit. That's complex.
I get a little. There's a little of the pepper in there.
A little bit, but it's not like even the 90 proof one does not have this much, or has more pepper on it than this.
Right.
Like this, in this one, it comes out more as like a almost bitter tobacco than it does pepper because of how dialed down the spice factor is.
Right.
So up front, it's sweet, but not like super
It's still
sweet.
a fruity sweetness too.
Yeah, it's like it.
It's still a dark fruit, really.
It's like less sweet dark fruit. Like if you were to take like a dried prune, but without like adding sugar to it, like it's just a plain dried prune. Like there's like a dark sweetness that isn't very sweet, similar to like how dark chocolate is kind of sweet, but it's not really sweet. But it doesn't have dark chocolate nuts. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I'm just trying to say like the sweetness comparison.
Right.
And then it becomes drier as it goes through, where it turns into a bit more of like an oak. Not really tannic, but definitely oak. Maybe a little bit of leather, a little bit of that pepper tobacco.
The finish lasts a little while too.
It does. There's also another.
And the finish is just like there's no real like it sort of dissipates in terms of flavor, but it's like almost like a dry finish.
It's a very dry finish. Almost I want to say it's an astringent finish because it actually feels like my mouth is drying out. And not only is it not sweet, but it's like actually drying. I want to say like, are you getting like an ash note on the finish too?
A little bit.
Because I feel like ash is like one of the savory notes I'm getting that I don't know how else to describe it on the finish. I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're getting at.
Because it's not oak, it's not. I want to say it's ash, is the flavor note I'm getting.
Yeah, almost like we're literally tasting a little char.
This is definitely like. I'm not usually big on bourbons that aren't sweet, but.
This has so much complexity to it.
I like this because of how complex it is. Like, it's not a very sweet bourbon, and I gravitate towards sweeter bourbons, but I really do like this. Because it's all over the place. Like, it gives you that faux sweetness up front.
But it's all over the place, but it sort of transitions between very well. It's not like a super sweet nose to a super dry palate to a sweet finish. It's like goes from sweet to progressively drier.
Right. And I mean, like,
it's all over the place, but it doesn't jump around.
No, it's a very, like, wow, how do I want to put this? It melds fluidly as a complex whiskey, so like it transitions well into, like, from the front to the middle to the finish, and the nose integrates itself in well also. Because even though, like, a lot of the fruit on the nose doesn't transition into, like, the palate, it still meshes well with it because it's like the same kind of sweet but not really sweet going on with it.
So do you remember what I got for this? Or what I got this for?
This one was already open, right?
No.
No, this one was sealed. Was this what you got, the Nika?
No.
No.
I got this for a Magnus.
I'd say value-wise you came out about right.
Yeah.
Because you and I are both not big on, like, the standard Joseph Magnus.
Yeah.
I've heard that the single barrel is actually really, really good.
That's what I've heard too, but I knew that the regular Joseph Magnus that we carry in the stores, I was like,
for $90 it's not.
It's on sale for $83. Didn't you get it for 70 something when?
I don't know if I would even buy it at 40.
I have to be honest, I agree with you. You see why I traded this for something that the only reason I didn't buy when I was in Delaware was anytime I went to buy it, they had other stuff in the price range that I wanted more. Because I clearly saw that this was everywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, to say that Joseph Magnus I wouldn't buy at 40 is not because it's bad per se.
It's because it's very much not our taste.
I would just say that I think that there are things that are significantly better for the price.
Right.
Like, there's better, cheaper whiskeys than standard.
It's like that. It's like the Widow Jane to us, where it's like we don't see it being worth even half of the price tag they put on it, but we see why people like it. And
I actually don't see why people like
Really?
Widow Jane. I don't understand why people like it. I think it's a bitter tannic mess.
I can agree to that.
Like, Widow Jane is the one that, like, I know that people's palates are different, but that is so astringently bitter and tannic. I don't see what the appeal about it is at all.
Well, we just know that anyone who buys it's a masochist.
Hey, as long as they're buying that instead of my other good bourbon, more power to them.
As long as Jack Daniel's barrel proof is always on the shelf, I don't care.
Hey, that's a PA thing. We're lucky that PA is just such fucking alcoholics that we love our Jack Daniels to the point that we get first dibs on everything that they send.
Right. You see the new one that they're coming out with.
Are they finally? Oh yeah, the Bottle and Bond's coming out.
No, they're coming out with a Heritage.
Another one. Oh.
Allow me. We will introduce the viewers to this too.
Because I know.
I say that plural because I think we have 2 or 3 now.
Oh sweet. But also, yeah.
It is called the Coy Hill High Proof, 70.5%.
Holy Jesus.
Aged up in the buzzard's roost of our barrel houses on Coy Hill and bottled uncut at higher proofs.
I'm actually
It's a single barrel special release.
I'm actually kind of scared to taste that. I'm not gonna lie.
It is very intimidating.
Although I will say this, like, their barrel proof and the rye barrel proof
Did not drink like 130.
not at all. So like that's like the one thing it's got going.
So this
for it.
one will drink like 130.
Maybe. I'm hoping it doesn't, but we'll see. Although that'll be an easy, like, at that point if it's that hot, that'll be an easy big cube pour. Like, just put it on a big rock and just sip it that way, because there are some whiskeys that are better that way, I've found. But at the end of the year, Jack Daniel's is also coming out with their Bottle and Bond, which I'm actually really stoked about, because high proof Jack Daniel's is really fucking good.
It is. Yeah, and it's priced what, under 30 still, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if they put it at 40, but if it's at like 30, I would not be surprised. Basically, with where things are going, I wouldn't be surprised wherever they priced it, as long as it's below 40.
Right.
If they put it above 40, I'd be kind of surprised by that.
You're kind of pissed at them for that.
Yeah.
But back to Bowman.
Yeah, I really like this. I think so far that this is probably my favorite of the Bowman stuff I've tried. And I mean, I've tried Isaac, I've tried... I think I've just tried Bowman Brothers and Isaac Bowman, but... I know that they make a rum as well, as a regular thing. I think it's called George Bowman, maybe? It's either George Bowman or Abraham Bowman. I don't remember which one it is.
It's probably Abraham.
Abraham. But...
Jinx.
I like booties.